Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and welcome to my Facebook page. I guess this is my, excuse me, my Facebook Live, and I've called it Product of the Month because I'm going to try better. I'm terrible at using product. I order product and I set them aside, and then I don't use them, and so my whole goal is, and I hope you don't do that, is to use all the products that I have. And Product of the Month is one I've been terrible with. I have Product of the Month and I set it aside and I don't use it. So this video, and I'm going to try to do one at least one time, because I do one video a week, one time will be Product of the Month. So in February, which is still available, Product of the Month was Designer Series paper. And why it's called Product of the Month is because if you spend spend $75 or more on your order, you can add a Product of the Month for $5, which for Designer Series paper to get for $5 is pretty good. And this Designer Series paper is beautiful. You can go to stampinup.com to see all the pages in there, but you get 3 sheets of each design. There we go, that's what I was looking at. And really, shame on me, I've only made one card. It's a Patty Bennett fold, and it looks like this. So that's the one time I used that paper, right? Shame on me. So I need to start using more of Product of the Month. It's really hard for me because I'm a procrastinator and they only stick around for a month. So, well, you can just understand. So March's Product of the Month was a stamp set. Look how cute this is. This is what we're going to make our card out of. I've only made a few cards with this stamp set. Shame on me. But look, this is a Susan Campfield card. I cased this from Susan Campfield because it was so stinking cute using the little bunny. Right? It's a 2-step stamp, so you don't even have to color. You just take that little stamp and stamp it on there, and it's got some nice texture. I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's a really nice stamp set. And then I did do this Darling Duckling. This, believe it or not, is a Kathy original. Now, the little bow and the little heart, it doesn't come with dies. It's just a stamp set. Those come from, and I had them right here to show you, and now, yes, I do right here, come from the Filled with Sweetness. So look at the inside, how cute this is. So this little stamp here and this little stamp here on the Filled with Sweetness, and then I use the dies, which I'll show you really quick, because I think these are cute, and I haven't discovered those until recently. This was a March, it was released early March with the online exclusives, but it has this little thing here, that's the string, and then it has the cutest little bow in that die set, and that's what I used for the bow on this card. But I thought after I made this a birthday card, because that's part of the stamp set, I thought, wouldn't that be an adorable baby card? So I just might make some more of those in different colors, but love the little duck on there. And of course I use Darling Duckling ink because it's a duck. Okay, so then the third card I'm going to show you, and that's what we're going to make today. I use that little deer. Now, I'm happy with this card, but not satisfied, so I'm going to change it up a little bit when we make it today. And I saw this layout from Erica Serwin. It's on a, can you see the window sheet there? So you can see the Designer Series paper through the window sheet. I thought this was a really cool layout. She did it using the turtles, but if you want to go check out her card again, that's the Pink Buckaroo. But this is what we're going to make. But one more. So I have a sneak peek of April's Product of the Month. I think I can share this. I hope so, because I did. And it's a great big background die. So it's this, I think it's this big. I have no idea. I haven't seen it yet. I plan on ordering around April 3rd or 4th. I don't know. So I'll be sure and have that soon to show you that too. But Product of the Month, like I said, you spend here in the US, you spend $75, and then you get them for $5, which I think is a steal. Okay, let's make this card real quick now that I've rambled on. And, well, it doesn't matter. I'm not going to say, because I was going to say I'm going to do a Product of the Month, hopefully, video once a month and show you different cards that I've made, or a way to make a card with that Product of the Month. Let's keep our fingers crossed that I really follow through. Okay, so here's my confession. I haven't cut any cardstock for this card. Well, I've got a bunch of scraps, but I have a sheet here. This is Early Espresso, a full sheet. I'm going to take it in here. This is the 8.5-inch side at the top, and I'm going to just make 2 card bases out of my one sheet. It just saves time. So I'm going to score at 4 1/4. And then I'm going to turn it here at 5 1/2. and cut it. And then I have my 2 card bases. I'm only going to make 1 card today, but now I have a card base for later. Then I'm going to do it kind of backwards, I guess. I'm going to take this score line here, and I'm going to line it up at 3/4 of an inch. So as best I can, I'm looking down here at the bottom now. Where's my 3/4 inch? Or I guess you could also line it up at 3.5 over here. That's easier. Let's do that. Good Lord, Kathy. Okay, so we're going to cut it off at, what I say here, 3.5. That's going to give us a border of 3/4 of an inch from our score line. I did all that for a lot of work. Okay, then we need 2 pieces, and while I have my brown here, I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. Now, I'll be honest with you, I didn't go back to Erica's video and see if she used the same or what her sizes were. I just decided this looked good, and that's what I went with. So I'm going to cut this down to 3 inches by 4 inches. And we need 2 of those. Let's see if I got it right. I did. So I have a scrap here. We're going to cut that one down too. So I have 2 of them. And what did I say? 3. Let's go ahead and cut this at 4 inches here. And then we need one that's 3. Or I mean, the 3 by 4 is what I'm trying to say, but I've said that several times, so now you know. Okay, so then we need 2 white pieces. I'm going to use basic white that layer on top of there. So I'm going to make it, let's go this route, 3 3/4, and then 2 3/4. That's a 1/4 of an inch. So it makes a nice layer on top of your brown. And like I said, we need 2 of those. 2 3/4. Is that what I said? I hope so, because that's right. Okay, now we have those 2 layers. Then, let me set all this scraps and stuff aside. Talking about I buy stuff and then I set it aside and then I forget about it and then later I think, ooh, what was that? So this here is a product that came out the beginning of March with the online exclusive, and it's called Wood Grain Wonders. And I was in love with this paper when I saw it on the pre-order, so I bought it a long time ago. But can you see it? It's wood grain paper. And then on the back, let's see if I can get to the back of it. If I take it out of the package, I'll never get it back in, and I keep my package. But it has wood grains on the back also. So, and it looks textured, but it's really smooth, flat. There's no texturing in the paper. So let me try to get, I have a scrap. We're going to use the scrap, and then here's a piece that I've already cut from. I'm going to cut this down, and I want it 4 inches by 5 1/4, just a normal layer on your card base. So 4 inches, we'll cut that down. And then what did I say? 5 1/4. Easy, right? So now we have our designer series paper, and look how pretty that is. Although I'm going to flip mine over and I'm going to use this side because I really like this side, but the other side I think shows up better on the card. So then we need 2, and remember I told you we're going to upgrade mine. So on this card, my little strip here, remember it's 3/4 of an inch because that's where we cut it from the score line. And I cut this at a 1/2 inch, but I'm going to make it a little bit wider. So instead of a 1/2 inch, I'm going to go, and I'm going to use over here so I can see better. I'm going to go to 4/8, 5/8. I'm going to cut it at 5/8, and I need 2 of them. So 5/8. And these, since we got 5/8 this way, we're going to have to go 5 3/8. So it just has that small 1/8 of an inch border on either side. So 5/8 by 5 3/8, which will fit on the little, I don't know, side. I'll show you. You'll be like, oh, that makes sense, as I hope what you say. Okay, then oops, I threw that in the wrong pile. That needs to go in this pile. And then the last thing we need is that piece of window sheet. And I'll be honest with you, I'm a little worried I'm going to lose it. But I'm going to go ahead and take my window sheet. They come in these great 12 by 12. But I'm going to cut this one down to 4 inches. And you probably can't see 4 inches. Ugh, it's kind of thick. By 5 1/4. And now I'm trying to decide, you know where I'm going to put it? I'm going to put it inside the card that I've already made, and then that way I won't lose it. I was trying to think where, because window sheets, with my eyes, I never can find them. I'm going to set it in here, and hopefully that'll help me so I don't lose my card. Okay, lost my card base. Here it is. So I'm first of all going to just take and fold on that score line, making sure that it's square at the top and the bottom. And I'm going to use my bone folder because it just doesn't lay flat. It doesn't have the weight of the cardstock on there, so it flips up for now. But we're going to fix that very soon. Then I'm going to take my designer series paper, and we're just going to lay that on the back of our card and make a nice layer there. So just with some simple stamp and seal, I'm going to lay that right there. Okay, now just to make sure that I cut my little strips, these little strips right, I'm going to lay them, where's the other one? Here it is. I'm going to lay them on there just to make sure, yeah, and they'll cover almost the whole area. There won't be hardly like a itty bitty little border. But before I do that, I'm going to put my window sheet on. So I'm going to cover this piece, leaving a little bit at the top and the bottom. Remember, we cut our window sheet at 5 1/4. So it's about the same size. Well, it is the same size as this one. So I'm going to make sure my adhesive doesn't go past on this little strip. And I'm not going to be too sparing. There we go. I'm going to try to cover the whole thing. And thank goodness, here's my window sheet in my card so I can find it. I'm going to lay my window sheet on the designer series paper. And you know what? There's a smudge or something. I'm going to turn this way so then it's hidden under the other panel or other pieces, because I got a smudge on my window sheet, probably just a fingerprint. But I have my window sheet on top of my designer series paper, and then I'm going to just cover this like that. And now my window sheet is the front panel of my card, which I don't know. Yeah, there you can see it, right? Okay, now we want to cover up this glue, and that's where these little strips come in handy. So I'm going to take these, because you can see the adhesive through the window sheet. Oh, now I got tape on my glass now. Anyway, we're going to keep going. It might bug me a little bit, but okay, and then I'm going to layer these and cover up that adhesive. Well, let me try to get it straight. And that seam with an itty bitty little border, and look how nice that looks now. Using both sides of that designer series paper. Okay, let's do the same thing here to the front. Whoops. Darn near through my tape across the room. Okay, we have this one. And this one I'm going to be a little bit more careful, I guess is the word, to make sure it gets centered and looks nice, because this, of course, is the front of our card. And now we have a nice layer that covers up that there. Okay, so what I want to change on my card, to me this looks very plain and very empty, and so I'm going to just do some shadowing. I'm going to bring in a piece of grid paper here. And I have really fallen in love with the positioning tool grid paper. It's just a little bit smaller and fits on the desk, gives you more room. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to use some balmy blue ink and my little balming blue blending brush. And I keep a little thing on there that I got as a gift. Thank you, Mary. And so I know that's balmy blue. And the top part of my card, and I think, I couldn't really decide, but I think I'm going to do a lot of balmy blue, and then a little bit of green at the bottom. And then the inside, and I hope I'm not doing myself wrong here, I'm going to kind of just go around the edges. I'm going to leave the white, or the inside, and when I mean the inside of this piece, white, because when I write my sentiment, I like to write on white, I guess, so that's what I'm going to kind of do, just something like that. And I hope maybe you can't see it there, but when you lift it up, you can see that blue. Well, I can. Okay, so then we need to do some sort of color at the bottom, and I'm going to use shaded spruce for my stamping, so I'm going to use shaded spruce for my blending, and that's a bright color, so I'm going to really get some ink off here, so it's not quite so dark down here. And here again, I'm going to just kind of do the edges. This one, though, I am going to do a little bit of the corners, because I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on here. So something like that. So there's the inside, and then let's get the front. just a little bit of green. There we go. So now our cardstock isn't going to be so stark white on the front. And we'll see which one you like better when it's all said and done. If you like the plain white one, or if you like the blended one, or I don't know what that's. Now I'm drawing a blank on what that's called. Okay, so let's do some stamping. Like I said, I have my stamp set here. Let me show you one more thing. So Stampin' Up! Has this new packaging, right? I always take my stamp set and I peel off the lighter sheet. I lay my stamp right here and I stamp it onto a piece of basic white. And then that way I know where the stamps go on the clear. Maybe because I'm slow and don't understand all things, but that way I can tell where my stamps go on my plastic piece that they're stored in, and I can see if I have all my stamps. Because look, if you notice, my duck is gone. He must still be over. I usually take him to the sink and clean him. He's gone, so that's not a good sign, but what can you do? But that's how I do my new stamps. Okay, a couple other things we're going to change up is last time I only used, I'm going to use this to show you. I only used this stamp here. This time I'm going to go ahead and put that stamp onto a block 2. So I'm going to use both of them and kind of fill that area in a little more. And then you guys can decide which one you like more. And I'd love to hear your opinion. Okay, so we're going to just take these and put them on a block. And put it on a block. Bring back in that shaded spruce ink. And then I'm going to stamp this bigger greenery. I don't know what this is. I'm terrible at plants. I ask you all the time, what's the name of that and what kind of flower is this? So, but I'm going to stamp it. Now I'm saying in the middle, I'm going to stamp 3 of them. So I'm going to stamp it in the middle on the side. That didn't make any sense, but you'll see, because now I'm going to lift it straight up and I'm going to stamp it again. So it has that lighter shade. And then I'm going to stamp off over here on my grid paper and stamp it over here. So see what I mean? It's really stamped in the center. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this little one over here. So stamp it here and then here. Oh, and you know, look, it has to have one here. I think that looks better. I stamped it off. Come on, Kathy. Let me see if I can line that up. I really wanted that one darker. Nope, still looks good. And then let's put a dark one here. And then because I stamped off of the page, my ink, if you can see through my, yeah, you can kind of see where it has that corner of the paper. That would mess up my ink if I just stamped it down. So I'm going to stamp it off over here and stamp it there. I don't know if that, now my bottom is covered, right? So I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on the inside. I don't like to overstamp, but I'm going to do the same thing over here in the corner with my large greenery. That's what we're calling it. And then stamp off and stamp him. And then, do I want to stamp all the way? Do I want to stop there? I think I want to stop there. Before I put that greenery, like I said, this is a two-tone or two-step stamp. So I'm going to bring these 2 little pieces. Let me show you what they look like. We're done with those. It's this one here and this one here. And I think, I'm pretty sure I didn't use them before because you saw I didn't do this part. Where's that little tiny block? And this one, the bigger, this one, goes behind here and kind of fills in this area here. So I'm going to stamp it here in dark and then stamp it off. And it kind of gives, now I don't know if I like it, but what do you think? So it kind of gives it a little bit of grounding to our plants so it doesn't look like they're floating in the air. Okay, so let's see if I can line it. Maybe it doesn't line up with these. I don't know. Let's just see what happens. And stamp off. I'm still going to go and just keep going. And we'll take that little one and then fill in these. And maybe, I'm pretty sure that's what this is for. I don't know. If you find out something better for that, let me know. But now I have it filled in so it doesn't look like my plants are floating in thin air. Okay, let's go on. Now set these aside, I guess kind of let them dry. We need to do our little deer. Is this one big enough? No. I have another scrap of white here because I was worried that wasn't going to be big enough. So here is our little deer. Let's put him on a block. And I'm going to stamp him first in black memento ink. Have you heard about Stampin' Up's new black ink pad? They're doing away, and when I say doing away, they're just not going to sell anymore. They're not going to sell black StazOn that you use for watercoloring. They're not going to sell black memento ink that you use with your blender pens. Now they've come up with a new hybrid, I don't know what it's called, ink pad that's supposed to do both of them. And I've heard good things about it and I've heard bad things about it. And now here again, I have it. I haven't played with it yet, but I am going to play with that. So when it's time, because it'll be in the new catalog that comes out the beginning of May, I will let you know what I think of it. I've heard that it works better on Willow White than it does on, and when I say works better, because they claimed, what color is this? This is Pecan Pie, and I'm going to stamp off on my deer because I already have one that's not stamped off, and I want to show you the difference between the two. But anyway, back to the ink pads. They say that you're supposed to be able to watercolor, and you're supposed to be able to use Stampin' Blends with this black hybrid, there it goes, hybrid ink pad. Hang on, I can't stamp and talk. And it doesn't smear or it doesn't bleed. So I'm going to go try it myself, see exactly what I think. I'm going to hang on to my black memento. I'm going to hang on to my StazOn until I'm fully convinced that hybrid is the answer. Too much information. Okay, so now I have to fussy cut. Like I said, there's no dies with this. So quickly as I can, I'm going to fussy cut out this little deer. And now that I see I stamped my first deer on my first card, so much better. But this guy will work. They're adorable little animals in this stamp set. Let me see if I can get around his little tail with this big old piece of cardstock. I might have to cut him out a little bit closer. It's so much easier to fussy cut when you have a smaller piece of paper. And I don't know if you know this about me, but fussy cutting is one of my favorites. I would much rather fussy cut than I would color, which isn't usually the norm with stampers. Or, okay, I gotta get rid of this paper, is way too big. I gotta cut this down. There, now it'll be easier. You don't want it too small, you want something to hang on to, although the deer is pretty big. And it makes it pretty easy to hold on to your deer as you fussy cut. But boy, all that extra cardstock was just too much. I couldn't handle it. Okay, so as I'm finishing up my deer here, which is taking a little bit longer than I had hoped, but I want to do a good job, so I'm going to take my time. I usually don't use product that you can't get, because, you know, as a demonstrator, we can pre-order, and right now we're pre-ordering from the catalog that's coming out in May. And I have a product here that I'm going to use, so I guess I'm apologizing for using something that you can't get, but it was necessary for this little deer to have. So hang on, let me finish cutting my little deer out. I'm almost done, I promise. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. There we go. Okay. So now we have our cute little deer, right? And where are they? Stampin' Up in their new catalog is going to have white gel pens. Now, I don't know about you, but me and white gel pens don't have a very good history. White gel pens are very frustrating because normally you buy one, you use it, it's fan-stinkin-tastic, and then you come back, say like in a couple weeks, and try to use it again, and it's all dried up or it won't work. So I am totally going to use the snot. Whoops! I'm going to test use my Stampin' Up white gel pens and give you an honest opinion. Now I've marked mine with a little 1 and a little 2. So, and we did use them at class, so I'm not sure if both of them have been used right now or not, but as my test, I'm going to use number 1, and then in a month or so, when they come out, I'll see if number 2 is still good, or if sitting for a little while has ruined my gel pen. And I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm very frustrated with white gel pens. I love to use them, but I like to use them when they're brand new and work good. Now, one thing they said about the white gel pen from Stampin' Up! Is you have to go slow. You can't write like a normal pen. You have to really take your time and let that ink flow. So if you're writing with it, that's one tip to know right now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these little dots on the back of my deer, which I really think it looks like a fawn, and I'm going to color them in with this little white gel pen. And I'll hold it up and show you the difference. I should have done the before and after, but look how cute she looks now with those little white dots on her back. Now, remember I told you I was going to stamp off, and then I had one that's full strength. So this is what my 2 little fawns look like. And on my card, I couldn't decide. Did I like the one that was stamped off, or did I like the one that was full strength? And to be honest with you, I still can't decide. Now, I think I stamped this one better because he has these little white highlights on his tail and on his snout and on his ears. So I'm going to use this one on my card, but you'll have to let me know. Do you think this one looks more like a deer, or this one, or like me, does it really not matter? Because they're both adorable. Okay, so let's finish now up our card here. I keep chatting on. I'm going to go ahead and take the front. Oh no, we need to stamp right here on our card. And I am going to stamp the same happy birthday. But of course, I've set my stamp set somewhere. I have the case over here, but where did my stamp set go? Did I put something on it? Oh, good Lord. This is like every time you watch my video, just get totally frustrated. I do with myself because I set something down and then I can't find it. Oh, darn, it's on this side. Okay. Whew. So this one says, what are the 2 greetings? Oh, it's right here. A little note of thanks, but I'm going to use the happiest birthday wishes, because if you know me, and that one, you know what, is over there being cleaned. So now we're doing a thank you card, because dang it, that's where the little ducks are being cleaned in my sink, and I don't have them here. So we're going to use the thanks. Thanks a lot, little duck card, because you really messed me up. Oh well, I'll use the thank you card. Place an order with me this month, and I'll send you this card. Okay, but for now, I'm going to use that black Memento ink again. Oh, I know what the other thing I wanted to tell you about the new hybrid ink pad. They said, they warned us, I guess, and when I say they, I mean Stampin' Up. I just got back from on stage and learned so much information that my head sometimes is spinning. They said that the hybrid black ink pad stains your stamps. So now I have stamped with it a couple times, and I've noticed that it does stain your stamps, but everything stains your stamps. First of all, use a pink or a purple and boom, your stamps are stained. But I think the new black stains your stamps about as much as a basic gray. So I wasn't even, to me, it's not as bad as everybody was making it sound. And I don't care if my stamps are stained, because to me, a stained stamp, try to say that 100 times, is a love stamp, and that's how they should all be. They should all be stained. Okay, a few dimensionals on the back of my little deer, fawn, whatever the heck this is. And we're going to put it onto, and I probably should have put this because this is flat. So let's layer this onto one of those early espresso pieces. I feel like I've been chatty Cathy today. Hope that's not like, oh, she's talking again. I hope it's like, ooh, that was some good information. But you never know. So far, I like it better that it's got more color on it than it did with the stark white. I hope you do too. Well, we'll see what you say. Okay, and then on the back of this, no, let's stick our deer on there because it's always going to get stuck to something else. I'm going to just put him laying here in the tall grass. Look how cute that is. Excuse me. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals, and all I'm finding is here's some regular or standard dimensionals. We don't need many dimensionals on the back of this. I always like to put one for their tummy so my tummy doesn't sag. And we're going to take this piece and I'm going to line it up on the front of my card flush with this piece, not the designer series paper that covered it, but actually the card base. So I'm going to kind of line it up like this, that way it'll at least be straight, and then lay it down so it looks like that. Isn't that adorable? Okay, so then when you open your card, there again, you see the adhesive. That's what our second piece of brown is for. And like, you could cover this with designer series paper. You could put another white piece on the top. I didn't. I was happy with just making it. And I'm going to line it up again so it totally covers. They should be the same size. It totally covers that front piece. And now you have a good looking card when you open it this way too. So now we need some place to write our greeting. That's where our second piece, this piece, comes into play. I'm going to put adhesive on the back. And then I'm going to lay it on this piece so it looks good. Right? And then I'm going to just barely tap my card closed. And that because if it's not straight, which you look, mine's really not straight. I'd like that straight. I'm going to kind of try to straighten it out a little bit. There, I think that looks better. What do you think? Then I can apply pressure and have the inside of my card hidden, but when you open it, it's not cattywampus. That's a Stampin' term. And there again, you could put your, you could stamp something in there. I'll just write my greeting in there. Thank you for your order. That was a hint right there. Okay, and then let's go to embellishments. Here's some more embellishments. I believe these embellishments came out with the same release that these did. Oh, look, we have a straggler embellishment right there. Where did you come from? I don't know, but I'll put you back with the other ones where you belong. I'm going to put that little ladybug, which I think is adorable, and I use on as many cards as I can, because who doesn't love a cute little ladybug? We're going to slap her right there. And then with some of these metallic gems, which I don't know why, but I consider the rustic kind of metallic, I don't know, with the wood grain designer series paper, it needed something rustic rather than something pretty, although I think these are very pretty. So we're going to just take these, and I think I'm going to use these copper ones, and we'll just splatter. Well, maybe we are. He's a sticky booger. And where did I put him on this card? On this card, I put it here. Do I like it there? Yeah, I think I do. And then we'll take some of the larger metallic, and then we'll kind of go in the majestic triangle that they're always talking about. So here's my triangle here. I think that looks okay. Maybe not perfect, but there you go. So there's your card. So first of all, thank you, Erica, for the card layout. And thank you, Stampin' Up, for the product of the month, because look how cute. Now wait, we still have to decide. Do you think you like this deer or this deer better? Hard to decide, huh? But those little white dots on that deer just make it adorable. So much different than without the white dots. Okay, again, that's what I have for you. Let me know about the deer, whether you like the light deer or the dark deer. Let me know if you like the products of the month. Have you been getting product of the month? Have you been using them? Share your products with me too, or your projects with me so I can see them too. Who knows, maybe I'll case them, and I need more ideas all the time, of course. Okay, I rambled on enough. Chatty Cathy today. I'll see you back here next Monday. Have a great week. Bye-bye.